Hi there, friends, and welcome to my brand new survival world. My name is Bean Burrito, and yes, that is my legal name. You can check my birth certificate. This is my first time ever creating Minecraft content for YouTube, as you may notice by my YouTube history that this is my first upload ever, and I decided I wanted to create a new survival world and share it with everyone. My goal with this world is to take things at a calm and relaxing pace. I want this to be a forever world, or at least a really, really long time world. And so I want to take my time here. I'm in no rush to build elaborate redstone machines, or make automated farms with maximum output, fight the Ender Dragon, things like that. I'll certainly get around to those things at some point, but I want to take my time, go at a leisurely pace, and enjoy the journey as I explore this Minecraft world. And so, with that, let's start punching some trees. And of course, I've got to build my first axe, so now I can really start chipping away at these trees. Some goals for this episode: I would like to get saplings for every type of tree, and I would also like to try to find all of the flower types. One thing that I think I would like to do with this world is do a lot with the plants and the flowers, so I want to make sure that I have all of the plants and flowers available to me as early on as possible. So I'm going to put some effort into trying to collect every type of flower and every type of sapling. I am playing on version 1.21.4, so that means the Pale Garden does exist in this world, and I am excited to find one of those biomes and explore that a little bit. I have not yet played on 1.21.4. This world is my first time playing in that version of Minecraft, so I'm excited to find a Pale Gardens biome. And I do need to find food, but one thing that I'm going to attempt to do in this playthrough is I am not going to intentionally kill any friendly mobs. I will only kill hostile mobs and mobs that would like to do harm to me, so that'll make getting food a little bit more of a challenge. Since I won't be killing pigs or sheep or chicken, I'm going to have to find alternative means to get food later in the game. Once I go to the nether, you know, there are hoglins there, so I'll be able to get pork chops and leather that way. But in the early game, there's going to be a lot of resources that might be a little more difficult to come across if I'm not killing friendly mobs. But with that being said, here's some watermelons, so that's at least a good place to start. And since I found a jungle here, I'm going to collect some of these jungle saplings. Alright, it is turning nighttime, so just to avoid dealing with hostile mobs, I'm going to set out to the ocean and do a little exploration that way. So far, I've already collected dark oak, regular oak, birch, and jungle saplings, so that's a good start. I do see some bamboo over here as well, which I would like to get some of that. I'm going to head over to the bamboo very carefully to avoid all the hostile mobs that are now spawning in the world. Go ahead and make a wooden sword and a wooden pickaxe. I'm just going to run up just to grab a few bamboo. Oh hey, there's a panda. That's pretty cool. And I am now a monster hunter. Killed my first hostile mob. What I would like to do is try to get some stone so that I could at least get stone tools. And since it's nighttime, that might be a good time to do that. I can just kind of burrow into a hillside and block it off from the entrance. That way I don't have to deal with anything hostile. Oh. Well, that was close. So, you'll notice I am playing on survival and not hardcore. As I said, I want this to be a forever world, and I want to put a lot of time and effort. I want this to be a world that I'm really excited about and really care about, and I don't want to end up just, losing it because I die and can never retrieve it. This is something that I really want to make sure lasts a nice long time for me. And I am using complementary shaders, for those who are curious. I've got a few other mods loaded as well, mostly for performance and mods that it will be beneficial for, you know, video recording. I don't have anything installed that drastically changes the actual gameplay because I want to keep this as vanilla as possible. So anything you see, any mods that I have installed will primarily be, ooh, I want those cocoa beans, for visuals, aesthetics, and performance, just to make it run better. I don't have anything that significantly changes the gameplay itself. Man, I want those cocoa beans, but all those hostile mobs over there making it a little difficult. I'm gonna eat a few of these watermelons. There we go, got some cocoa beans. I am burrowing into a hillside just to get some stone. All right, and let's go ahead and make all stone weapons. All right, I now have all stone weapons. I've got my stone sword, pickaxe, axe, and shovel, and I'm just gonna go ahead and drop all these guys. It looks like we've got some spruce here, so I do need that. I will hop over and grab some spruce. All right, and I'm actually going to eat some rotten flesh here because I want to conserve those watermelons. Ooh, looks like we found some sort of mountainous range. Oh, is this a swamp over here? It sure is. You may also notice that up in the top left corner, I've got the coordinates HUD. I just like to display where I'm at so that people who are, you know, watching this on YouTube can have a rough idea where I'm at. Grab these lily pads. Also some pumpkins. That'll be nice to have. There's some sugar cane. Wow, and a savanna biome. This has worked out great. Hello, frog. Ooh, and there's a ruined nether portal. All right, and I've got my first armor and some golden equipment. So look at that. Day one, I'm less than 20 minutes into playing, and I already got myself some golden armor here. And now, let's get some acacia saplings. All right, so now we've got dark oak, birch, jungle, spruce, and acacia. And it looks like we've got some coal here, so I'm definitely going to grab that. That way I could start making torches. All right, not too bad. I've got a full stack plus 8 pieces of coal. I found a little shipwreck here. Oh, that is some good loot for first 30 minutes of gameplay. I'd say this is off to a pretty good start. I've already got 11 iron and got some armor, some emeralds, most of the saplings. And I find another shipwreck. Let's see if this one's got anything good on board. Not bad. Plenty of food, that's for sure. Not as good as the last one, but still not too bad. Coming up on a ruined nether portal in the ocean here. And it looks kind of cool with the way the reflection is showing it. I'll take that. Want those. I want that golden apple. All right, another successful ruined nether portal. And now that I've got some iron, I can make some shears to get some wool to make a bed. The only thing is I need to figure out my inventory space. So I need to drop some things. The rotten flesh, I don't need that for the time being. Hello sheep, I will take that wool. And I have now got myself a bed. While I'm here at the shipwreck, I am going to make a door so that I can go to the bottom and not suffocate. Ooh, look, we got another beautiful chest here. There's usually a second chest around here. Oh yeah. I don't have pants, so I might as well grab some pants with thorn. All right, little hobbled together outfit here. I've got my golden helmet with fire protection, my golden chest plate with projectile protection, leather pants with thorns, and golden boots with feather falling. All of which have been found just by looting chests at shipwrecks and various places I've found. And now that I have a bed, I am just gonna make a quick little bed right here on the side of the ocean. Take a nap. Hopefully that stops the rain. Oh, that stopped the rain all right. Wow, look at this beautiful sunrise. Look at that rainbow. I love it. Absolutely love it. I have stumbled across another ruined nether portal. A shovel with efficiency. You know what? I'll take the gold. So I'm out here exploring the dark oak forest, and what do you know? I've stumbled across a woodland mansion. I am in no condition to explore a woodland mansion at this point. I only have this pretty low quality armor and a golden sword. I am not at all ready to take this on, but I am going to take note of the coordinates because I would like to come back at some point and explore this. I've actually, in my entire time of playing Minecraft, I've never found a woodland mansion, so I think that would be exciting to do, just not right now. So I'll be back for you someday, but today's not that day. I just realized for about the past 20 minutes, I thought I was recording. Turns out I was not. Classic mistake, but I discovered a village. It's a pretty big village. It started all the way up here. I checked all these houses, then hopped in a boat, jumped off the edge of a cliff. But what's also important is right up here, we've got a cherry grove. So I'm going to finish checking all the houses down here, see if they've got anything good, and then I'm going to head up there and grab some cherry saplings. I just left the little village that was down there. I did get some loot out of it. I got a bunch of apples and I got a feather, which may seem insignificant, but I'm not going to be killing friendly mobs. Therefore, if I'm not killing chickens, I'm not going to be able to get feathers. And therefore, when I need to someday make, a brush, I'm not going to be able to make a brush without a feather. So I'm glad that I found a feather while I was in there. Now the inventory management is starting to become a lot more difficult, and soon I'm going to need to figure out a storage solution. All right, and now I've got my cherry saplings. Also picked up some pink petals while I was here. So now it's time to continue looking for a mangrove swamp, and I also need to locate a pale garden. Found myself another little village here. It would also be nice to find leather. Since I'm not killing any cows, I don't have a way to get leather myself, and it would be real nice to craft a bundle to kind of help with this inventory management that I'm dealing with. So I am using a mod called Jade. Jade will show you the details of whatever block you're looking at. So at the top of the screen right now it says smooth stone, oak log, cobblestone. I guess it also shows you, if you're looking at a mob, it shows you that mob's stats, and this guy is unemployed, but that's okay. Tragically, this village also did not have a saddle or any leather, but I did get another feather and a little bit more hay bales. But that was about it for this village, so the hunt continues. I spotted another nether portal down here. It's got obsidian, which could be useful. And there we go. I've got the ice bucket challenge, and I didn't even have to do the hard part of mining the obsidian. I think I'm probably around 2 hours into gameplay at the moment, and I have just spotted yet another village. Alright, well, I still did not find the leather or the saddle that I was looking for, but I got more hay bales and some emeralds and a few other things that are at least nice to have. Would you look at that? A pink sheep. A naturally spawning pink sheep. Pretty neat. Oh, is that a ruined nether portal? It looks like it is. More obsidian. Golden axe with mending. I'll take that. And I see a Pale Gardens up here. That's exciting. I have not yet ever stepped foot in a Pale Garden. Oh, and it's directly above a Dripstone cave. This is where things get tricky, because there's a lot of stuff in the Pale Garden that I would like, and inventory space is limited. I want to get flowers here, the moss, the vines, but I don't have a ton of inventory space. So I think I'm going to start by just chopping down some trees to get the saplings. Wow, I picked up that golden mending axe. I forgot how quickly golden tools wear down. This is barely going to make it through one tree. Well, some of these closed eye blossoms, pale moss blocks. That gives me 4 pale oak saplings, some pale moss block, and the closed eye blossoms. So that's not too bad. I had to sacrifice some saplings. I got rid of the oak, the birch, and the spruce. Those are pretty easy to find, and so once it's time to set up a base and, once I've got better storage, then I'll go get those again because they're not that difficult to find. But now I just need to find a mangrove forest. And we find ourselves another village here, so let's go check this one out as well. I would love to take these cauldrons because I use a lot of cauldrons in my builds. Leather! Yes! Gosh, this village is loaded. They're giving me everything I could ever need. If they give me a saddle, then I might just move in. But what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna wait for nightfall. That way I can kill a spider to get some string to make a bundle, and that will help with my inventory woes oh so much. There's a spider. No string. The hunt continues. There's a spider, but there's also creepers in the way. I don't know where that's... Oh, there it is. Oh, wow. I'm being pursued. Alright, there's my string, and I'm getting some sleep. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and kill you two, just in case I get more leather. I'll have the string ready to go. Beautiful. Let's make a bundle. Incredible. Alright, that has cleared up quite a bit of inventory space, which is great news. But now, I still need to find myself a mangrove swamp. Now I've got a swamp, and oftentimes swamps are adjacent to mangrove swamps. I don't know if that will be the case here, but I'm at least going to check. And also want to grab these dead bushes now that I've got shears, because I love using dead bushes for decoration in a pot with a bush on top of it. You know what this means? Free leads! If I just put that there, and then push, there we go. Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to do that. I'm so sorry. I did not mean to hit you. It was an accident. I really hope you can choose to forgive me. There we go. And got myself 2 leads out of that. So that's exciting. Little trick for everyone. If you catch the llamas on a boat, it'll break the lead without having to actually do any harm. Let's see. I will take that pink tulip. Oh, you go in there. And with that, I will continue my exploration. And another nether portal. Alright, more obsidian. I've almost got enough obsidian for a nether portal, and I haven't even had to get diamond yet to get it, so that's exciting. I've spent a fairly significant amount of time searching this swamp. Sadly, I have not located a mangrove swamp, and I was just about to give up the search, but then I discovered this witch's hut. I will make sure to make a note of the coordinates so that in the future, if I want to make a witch farm, I will be able to do that. Exiting the swamp, it appears that we have stumbled across a frozen biome over here. Well, this sure is scenic. And now a beautiful sunset through the frozen ocean. Alright, I see a chest right there and some ocean ruins. I'm gonna craft a door really quick, try to swim down and check it out. Here we go! Alright, buried treasure. Nothing else that's really that exciting, so that's good enough for now. Oh my gosh. Wow. There are a lot of drowned coming right for me. Let's see. Alright, I found the buried treasure and got some pretty good loot in here. Found ourselves an ice spikes biome. Very nice. Is this a ruined nether portal? It sure looks like it. Oh, it's kind of buried. Oh, you're gonna make me dig for the loot, and it's probably not even gonna be anything good. At least I now have enough for a nether portal when the time comes. Ooh, Feather Falling 3, I will definitely take that. Trading out Feather Falling 2 for Feather Falling 3. I have stumbled across a pillager outpost. Oh, and an igloo, and a ruined nether portal. Quite a little cluster we've got here. Let's see if there's a basement in here. There sure is. Beautiful. Alright, I got myself a cactus. I can put this in here. I'll hold on to this just in case I some point need it. I guess I will head back upstairs. Another golden apple. We love that. Ooh, and a shovel with silk touch. That could come in handy. Just because if I need silk touch, even if it's a shovel, at least it'll get the job done. Okay, so there is an iron golem in there. Alright, my friend, let me get their attention. Alright, and here they come. Start, doing your thing. Thank you. Alright, with the assistance of the iron golem, I made it to the top. Okay, I think that's enough for now. Found myself a high altitude village, so I'm gonna have to see if I can climb my way up there. Lanterns. I'm going to take lanterns. I love building with lanterns, and so I'm going to take them while I'm here. And yes, I plan on taking every lantern in this village. Found ourselves a blacksmith. There it is. Oh my gosh, yes, we got a saddle. This is great news. Coming up on another ruined nether portal here. It's got horse armor. I'm going to need that once I find a horse. And we find ourselves yet another village. And I do see horses at this village. So one thing about this mod, the Jade mod, as I mentioned earlier, it shows stats of mobs. That also includes, when looking at a horse, its jump height and its speed. So this horse has a jump height of 2.17 and a speed of 9.84. Not exceptionally fast, but faster than me walking around on my bare feet. So I'm going to go ahead and tame it up. And there we go, best friends forever. I've got a horse now. I'm going to take all of these lanterns. All right, that puts me at a full stack of lanterns. That's a beautiful thing. And now we're really moving. I don't think he's going to be my forever horse, but he is my first horse, and I feel like there's a sentimentality of having your first horse and keeping it with you, so maybe I'll keep him once I find a base. I'll still keep him around, but I'll probably look for a faster horse at some point in the future. But this is definitely much better than trying to get around on my own feet. And now I really just need to find some mangrove swamp, and I will be set. Ooh, and I see sweet berry. This is another one where I only need one. Ooh, and you know what this means. So that means if I dig down, I am going to find a lush cave. Moss. Oh, here we go. Incredible. Okay, we have found the lush cave. That's all I really need for the time being. Now I've got the location of a lush cave whenever I need to come back, but for now I've got my glowberries and my moss. Grabbed a drip leaf and some hanging roots, but that'll be enough for now. I'm gonna use my silk touch shovel to get these bookshelves. I've reached yet another ocean and yet another sunset. Still haven't found the mangrove swamp that I'm looking for, but I'm not going to give up looking because that is my objective for this episode, is to get all of the saplings, or at least all of the things needed to grow all of the different trees. Oh my gosh, it's dark and I can barely see, but I do see before my very eyes mangrove. Let's get out of here, though. I almost just died because I did not realize that that guy was in the boat with me. Oh my gosh, I was like, why are they so fast in the water? And it's because he was in the boat with me. That was terrifying. Let's try this again. Beautiful. And there we have it. Mangrove propagule acquired. I have now acquired all of the saplings and the propagule. So now, next is to get all the flowers. But right now, I don't have the inventory space. So more importantly, I need to get some leather so that I can build bundles. That way, I can use those bundles for more inventory space to get the flowers. So I'm going to keep looking through villages until I find more leather for another bundle. All right, friends, I have some big news. This location is perfect. I love it. It is beautiful. I'm just gonna go into free cam to show this off a little bit. We've got this beautiful mountain peak. We got a the tiniest little cherry grove right here. We've got a village. We've got the savanna. We've got another village over here. If we come over here, we've got jungle. So we've got all the different biomes, 2 villages. And then if we come over here, we've got a flower forest. It's beautiful. It's incredible. I love it. So this is where I'm going to build my base. I am so excited. And since I've made up my mind that I'm going to build my base somewhere around here, hey, you trying to get away? I went ahead and just picked a house, threw down some chests, and unloaded all of my stuff. So I am now cleared up on inventory to run to this flower forest that's right here and grab all the flowers my heart could ever desire. Sunflowers, lily of the valley, allium, lilac. We've got red tulips. More allium. Is that how you pronounce that word? Allium? 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 I don't know. I saw some orange tulips. Where'd those go? And then we've got some white tulips. We've got a bee. I'm gonna ride over to that nearby savanna village just to see if they have any leather or just if they have anything worthwhile for me. Lots more horses. Wow, I am so excited about this location that I found for my base. I can't even put into words. I am just overjoyed. Alright, well, they didn't have anything extremely exciting, but I'm glad that I came over here. I walked away with 2 eggs, 4 bookshelves, more bread, a bunch of apples, and some potatoes. That's about it. This horse has got pretty good stats. I am going to try to tame it. That was easy. I'm gonna tie both of you up right there. Going to make some fences real quick. Okay. So I've got most of the flowers, but there are still 2 very important ones that I have not yet collected, which require a sniffer. I need the pitcher pod and the torch flower seeds, and in order to get those, I'm gonna have to find a sniffer. So I just ran out really quick and found some copper. I've got the 2 feathers that I found earlier, and I'm going to make brushes and go out and hopefully locate a warm ocean. And once I find a warm ocean, I'm going to look for some suspicious sand so that I can get myself a sniffer egg. Also, I found more bookshelves, and now I've got 16 bookshelves, all of which I collected using my Silk Touch shovel, so that's pretty exciting. I've got pretty much everything I need to head out now in search of a warm ocean. Alright, I'm going to hitch my horse up here because I am setting out to sail. I am now on the quest to find a warm ocean, and I have no idea how long that is going to take me. I stumbled across a desert here, and I noticed some sea pickles down here. I'm gonna grab them since I'm here. Alright, I found the tiniest little coral reef here, so I'm just going to kind of look around here in this warm ocean and see if I can find some ruins so that I can start looking for sniffer eggs. While I wait, I went ahead and gathered a little bit of coral, not much, but just a handful of each different type. I haven't got the coral blocks yet, but I figured I'd at least get the fans and the actual coral itself. So I am sailing along, and I have made an observation. I did not even know this was possible, but there's a dolphin in my boat. I didn't even know that this could happen. This is wild, but I don't want a dolphin in my boat, so I am going to go ahead and... No! I didn't mean to do that. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to hurt you, little dolphin. You're my friend. I would never intentionally hurt a dolphin. I'm so sorry. I will leave you be cruising along, and I have discovered the first ocean ruin of this trip. So I am going to go ahead and make a little platform just so that I have a safe place with air and to hide from those guys. And going to build a handful of doors so that I can swim down, because me, being the genius that I am, forgot to bring the 2 potions of water breathing that I had discovered previously. Okay, he's down there, and I want to not die to him. Jeez, he hits hard. Oh my god, he's gonna get me. Oh my god, he hits hard. Oh, I thought I was a goner right there. Okay, that drown with the trident was messing me up. I made an airtight tunnel down here, and now I am going to look around for suspicious sand. Let's see what we get. Alright, an emerald, not the sniffer egg. Alright, a sherd. Well, this was a little bit of a letdown, but I am not giving up hope. I found another smaller ruins here, so... Alright, another emerald, and sadly it does not look like there's any more suspicious sand at this particular site, so I will take my door and be on my way. I'm still searching for ocean ruins, like this one right here, as a matter of fact. Emerald. Well, I did just lose my iron axe, so I might as well take it. And we'll check out this one right over here. These are barely in the water. They're right at surface level. That's fantastic. Looks like a pottery sherd. Just some coal. Just some wheat. Just a hoe. Alright, I have found another ocean ruins. This one has quite a few drown, so I'm going to take them out really quick. And I got a nautilus shell out of that. Very nice. And now, to check this out. I wonder if a silk touch shovel can break a sea lantern. It can. Beautiful. Just some dumb coal. Yes! I got it. I got a sniffer egg. Incredible. I'm so glad. Okay, let's see if I can find a second one just so that I could breed them. If I don't, then not the end of the world. One is good enough for now. That's not a sniffer egg. Let's go! Yes! Oh my gosh, that's incredible! Alright, I now have 2 sniffer eggs. Yes! I also grabbed some sherds while I was out here. I'm ready to head back to my house and get these sniffer eggs going. Alright, I'm making my way the direction of my horse. I've been following the waterways to make my life a little bit easier, and I stumbled across a village here. So I'm going to run up, and most importantly, I'm going to get some sleep. It's nighttime, and I forgot to bring a bed, and I don't want to get killed by monsters. So I am going to go to sleep. Sorry, kid. Yeah, stare at me all you want. Yeah, you can be mad. I don't care. It's daytime, and since I'm here, I'm going to loot this village just to see if they've got anything worthwhile. Wait a second. This is that village that was right next to me, so I just have to make my way to my horse, which is this way now. What I can do, since I'm right by my base, is go ahead and set the sniffer eggs down to do their thing. I need to turn some cobblestone into moss so that I can put the sniffer eggs in it, because sniffer eggs grow faster in moss. I have run out of room in this chest for flower things, so I'm going to just have to make another chest. We are going to make this a little bit bigger. There we go. And I'm going to put down my moss. Of course, you're going to be tied up over there until the sniffers hatch. And there we go. Sniffer eggs are going to start growing. And I'm going to take this for a quick way out. Alright, and now I just have to go and retrieve my horse. Alright, and there is my sweet little horse. Alright, horse is back in the pen, sniffers are in there. I don't want this iron golem being in here. I would like him to... Oh no, oh no, oh no. Creeper, please follow me out this way. Thank you. Iron golem. You please see your way out, and I don't want the iron golem getting back in here, which I'm guessing this is how he got in, so I'm just going to clean that up. All right, and now I've got my 2 sniffer eggs, got my horseback, I've got a little pin here. We step in here, I've got all the saplings, I've got almost all the flowers. Still don't have the wither rose, but I haven't gone to the nether and don't plan to go to the nether anytime soon. So that will just have to wait. I've also got the coral, I've got the azalea. We're off to a good start. I'm gonna let these sniffer eggs incubate and hatch into sniffers, then get my torch flower and my pitcher pods. Oh, he just made progress. And then I will be ready to get to work on building my starter base. One other thing I want to do while I wait for my sniffers to grow up is get this beehive right over here. I noticed it a little bit ago, and it's almost nighttime, so it's currently got 2 bees in it, and now it's mine. Place a campfire, place a carpet over the campfire, and place the beehive. And got myself some honey. Sniffers are very cute, but God, the sounds they make are so annoying. They should be growing up soon. How much time do they got? Oh yeah, 7 seconds. They're gonna be turning into little adults here any moment. Look at him. He's huge. Look at that. Got myself my torch flower seeds and a pitcher pod. Incredible. Let's go get these planted, why don't we? Look at that. I got a seedy place and planting the past in one single move. Alright, and now our pitcher crop is growing and our torch flower is growing. So soon enough we will have all of the flowers in the game. Another wandering trader, which means I'm going to grab a boat and take his leads. Thank you, and thank you. Alright, so I think I've made up my mind specifically where I would like to build my base. So if we walk out over this way, this little plot of land right in here, I'm gonna hop into free cam and zoom out a little bit for you. I think if we were to build it right there, that gives a good backdrop with the mountains back here, the mountains kind of extending that way. If we look at it from this side, it's got more mountains back here. This would be the back of the house, looking out towards the trees over that way. I just think this would be a good spot, and you know, this is just going to be a starter base. It's not going to be a huge massive build, but I think that this would be a good spot to build up my first little starter base. And now all I need to do is start gathering some resources. And so for my build, I want to focus on a concept called Solarpunk, which is becoming more and more common that you hear people talk about it. The idea behind Solarpunk is it's more of an ideology and not a building style per se, but the idea is renewability and working with the environment rather than trying to exploit it. So the idea is to always be respectful of the land, the environment. You're not exploiting it, you're not abusing it, you're working together with it. And so that is going to be kind of what I focus on as I build up this little town in this area here. So now I'm going to go ahead and gather my mining equipment and get ready to start my first caving expedition to start gathering resources for the build. I think there's a cave entrance somewhere in the side of the mountain over here. So I've got my shield, got plenty of torches, I've got my tools that I'm gonna need. I've also got extra iron and extra wood, bring in some golden apples and then some bread for food, my dark oak boat. I like to bring a boat in the cave in case I'm being swarmed by an enderman. I can just catch him in the boat really quick. Also bring in shears so that I could harvest any glow lichen that I come across. And with that, I think I am ready to head into the cave. took a quick pit stop by the base because I realized that scaffolding would be pretty useful for caving. I only have this one bamboo shoot, but it grows really fast, so as soon as this pops up a new one, I'll plant it, and it shouldn't take too long at all to have a nice little bamboo field here that I can start stacking up some bamboo to start making some scaffolding while I go caving. And I also want a blast furnace, and I'm not 100% certain, but I'm pretty sure that there was a blast furnace over at that village right over this way. So I'm just gonna run over real quick, see if they've got a blast furnace, and if they do, I'm gonna grab that really quick. And we have a success. I will take that, please. Thank you. Plop that up right there. Start smelting some iron. Oh, look at that. I got a bunch of copper here. And I'm gonna also start smelting this copper while I go back to caving. Well, I got another bamboo and a wandering trader showed up, so you know what I gotta do. Give me those leads. Thank you. Hop in, bud. Thank you. All right, got some leads, and oh, he's got small drip leaf for sale and podzol. I don't know where the nearest Lush cave is. I'll take 6. Cool. So now I've got that. All right, so I have 11 little bamboo shoots here growing. I'm gonna get back to caving, and then when I come back for my next pit stop, I should have a nice little collection of bamboo so I can get some scaffolding going. So I have been running around lighting up this cave, trying to mob proof it so that I can gather resources without the fear of being sneak attacked by a skeleton or a creeper. And in the process, I kind of expected this considering I am near a bunch of mountains. But if I step right over this way, I have discovered some deep dark. Pretty cool. I am definitely not going to venture down there just yet, but it's good to know that there's one pretty easily accessible, pretty close to our base. And just to kind of give some perspective of where we're at in comparison to this mine that we're in, if I come up here, that is our base right over there. This is where we entered the cave. We kind of went down underground, and then right here's this other opening. And yeah, so base is going to be right there, and then we're going to have access to deep dark right down in here. Pretty cool, huh? I have spent a little bit of time down here lighting things up and mining resources. In this chest is most of what I've got. I got a bunch of copper, as you can see. I also got a fair share of iron. I've been smelting it as I find it, and you know, I've got almost 2 full stacks of iron here. Managed to kill an enderman, so I got an ender pearl. I found an amethyst geode, so I got the basalt and the calcite and just a couple blocks of amethyst, but I remember where it's at so I could come back later. But yeah, this was a pretty successful trip, and I'm mostly excited about the calcite and diorite because I mentioned that I'm going to be doing a Solarpunk theme, and with Solarpunk there's not one specific build style. Like, it's not like you know, a specific type of architecture that you would associate with Solarpunk. If you just do a Google image search for Solarpunk, you'll see all kinds of different styles, but one thing you do see a lot is there is a lot of white in a lot of the architecture, and so having this diorite and this calcite will be good for some Solarpunk builds. And I'm also excited about the basalt just because I love building with basalt. I think it's one of the coolest blocks. I have not yet found any tuff. I didn't really go too deep underground. I haven't even hit the point of deep slate, so as of right now, just the stuff that you find at the slightly higher underground. So lots of diorite, cobblestone, got a little bit of andesite, some gravel, things like that. But with that, I think I'm ready to head back to base base. Might have to make a few trips to take all this with me back and forth, but I'm gonna head back and start figuring out what I'm gonna do with the build. And so I think the last thing I want to do is get a lot of hail oak, because as I mentioned, there's gonna be a lot of white in a lot of my builds, and I've got the diorite and I've got the calcite, but I think that some pale oak would also be a good touch. At some point I'll visit the nether and get some quartz, but that's not gonna be anytime soon. So I am going to start growing some pale oak, and while I wait for the pale oak to grow, I'm also going to start growing some pumpkins. I really like the way that you can light up a base with jack-o'-lanterns and then put moss carpet over it. That way the light isn't visible like a torch just setting on the ground. It's hidden but still provides light, and that way I could start making this area a little safer for all the villagers and for myself. So I'm going to get a little pumpkin farm started. And so I found a nearby location where I threw down some water sources, made some farmland, and threw down the pumpkin seeds that I had. And then, once the pumpkins started growing, I got to work harvesting so that I could turn them into jack-o'-lanterns. I have 26 jack-o'-lanterns so far, still waiting on pumpkins to grow, but I'm going to go ahead and get started. I also grabbed 45 moss carpets. That was all that I was able to get for now because that's the bone meal that I had available. So I'm going to just run around and try to make this area a little bit safer. So I got a few more jack-o'-lanterns and lit up the area. I ran around with my jack-o'-lanterns and pretty much just did this. I would place a jack-o'-lantern and then put some moss over it, kind of blends it in. In my opinion, it is a lot more discreet than a torch, and I just think it looks a lot cleaner. But I did a pretty broad area. I think this village is going to be pretty safe from mobs for quite a while. If you look around, those are all of the jack-o'-lanterns that I have buried in the ground. I don't think that many mobs are going to be getting too close to this village, but if they do, we've got iron golems, and I think they'll be nice and safe. I now have plenty of pale oak logs, and I also realized that I am very close to another very easily accessible white block. If we take a look up here, I'm just going to go into free cam to show you where I went. I came up here and harvested a ton of snow from this area. It's already filled back in, which is one of the nice things about being near the snowy slopes. I've got practically infinite access to all of the snow blocks I could ever need. So this is all the powdered snow I've got. So I'm kind of just trying to accumulate as many white adjacent blocks as I can. I've got the pale oak, I've got the snow blocks. I also have a bunch of calcite. Currently, not too much white wool, but I do have 6 sheep back here that I am harvesting wool from so that I can have a bunch of wool as well. And then once I have all of these various types of white blocks, I'll be ready to start my build. But I actually think what I'm going to do while I wait for, at this point, it's just the sheep are going to take quite a while to get all of the white wool that I anticipate I'm going to need. So in the meantime, I came up here, I removed 1 layer of dirt. So previously there was 1 more layer that was up here. I brought it down 1 level, and this is where I'm going to build my base. And to start out, I'm just going to build a wireframe out of snow and then kind of go in, fill it in. But that's going to be kind of the starting point, is just building a wireframe. So I'm going to hop into that now. Now I've finished filling in all of the walls and floors and everything for the wireframe. So if we take a step out, this is what it looks like now. Kind of a haphazard stack of boxes. Looks kind of weird at the moment, but once we add some of the finishing touches, it'll look a lot better and it'll make more sense kind of what the end product was meant to be. So the next step is to add some trim, things along all the edges and things like that. And then after that will be to fill in all the decorating details and then add texturing. And so the first detail that I decided to add was the front door. I decided to use acacia wood, and I used copper trapdoors as an accent that I'm going to let oxidize. And I began adding acacia wood as an accent all around the build. I just think that the acacia wood is a good contrast to the white that I'm using for the rest of the build. and while I was in the middle of adding all these details, a new friend wandered up to me. This wolf wandered up, and unfortunately, I didn't have any bones on me, but I trapped him in a boat so that he couldn't get away and decided to go get some bones. There's a skeleton. Well, I killed some skeleton archers and got some bones and tamed this wolf. Unfortunately, I was not recording, but I've got a new friend and he's gonna keep watch over my house in here. If anyone has any thoughts on what to name him, leave a comment. Otherwise, I'll try to name him in episode 2, either something from the comments or something from my own mind. We'll just have to wait and see. It's time to add some texturing, so here's kind of the color scheme I'm going with. So right now, it's all snow blocks. For the darker spots, I'm gonna use diorite, and then to transition over to the snow, we're gonna put some white wool and some calcite. So that's gonna be kind of what the transition looks like. And so with that, I got to work texturing. I went through and found areas that looked like they could use a shadow type of appearance and remove the snow, and would add the diorite and the calcite to kind of look like more shadow type of areas, and then would use the wool to blend it in with the snow. And the goal is to make sure that the calcite and the diorite never directly touch snow. They always touch wool, and then the wool touches the snow, just to create that kind of a blend effect. I just came to the sad realization all of my bees have abandoned me. So I am going to ride off into the woods and try to find another beehive. I'm pretty sure there's at least one somewhere in this cluster of trees. I'm going to try to find as many as I can and try to replenish my bees. There's one right there. No bees in it. Again, another abandoned hive. Alright, we have got one bee. Alright, I finally found a hive with bees in it and made the achievement of total bee location. After all night of searching, I found 4 empty beehives, one that only had 1 bee, and I finally found one with 3 bees. And this time, I'm going to make sure to protect them so that they don't escape on me. And I gave them their own little room on the side of the house here. I didn't originally intend on having this room here, but I think it's a nice touch. But now, I think it's time to get started with a little bit of terraforming. So here's what the house is currently looking like. As you can see, the landscape around it isn't anything particularly exciting, and I want to change that. In order to do that, the first thing I need is a bunch of dirt. And there are these mounds right in front of my house here that I figured I was going to get rid of at some point anyway, and since I need the dirt, I figure now is a good time to do it. However, while I was taking out this big hill, I let my guard down and this guy snuck up on me. And before I could even get my composure, he had his friend sneak up behind me as well, and that one took me out. Luckily, I'm playing on survival and not hardcore because I'm not that great at Minecraft and kind of figured I would die at some point anyway. So the world is able to go on. But now that I've got my dirt, I decided to start terraforming around my base and building up the terrain. Alright, so that was a lot of terraforming. So if we zoom out, I rounded off a bunch of edges around here, just made it a little bit smoother. It took a lot longer than I thought, so for those of you watching, that was probably, just a few seconds, but in reality, that was many hours spread out over the course of days. I did a bunch of design on the outside of the house, got a bunch of shading, a bunch of details and texturing on most of the sides. There's only one side that I have not yet completed. If we work our way over this way, I've not done anything with this wall, and I think what I'm gonna do is maybe put like a patio door, and then out here I want it to be kind of like a nice outdoor recreation space. So I'm thinking what I might do is make a small little pond, decorate it with a bunch of plants, make a garden, but I think now I'm gonna get started on kind of shaping this area. I am now here in the bamboo forest. I came over here because I wanted to get some podzol. I'm about to start my pond build over at my base, and I wanted to use some podzol, and for reference, my base is right there, so, I could see all the bamboo off in the distance. I knew that it was over here. I hopped on my horse, rode over with the intention of finding some podzol, and as you may have just noticed, there is an azalea tree right here. Since I was already in the area, I decided to dig down to the Lush cavern, but when I got down here, and I noticed that right over here, we got a little bit of dripstone. I like using lava as a fuel source, and it would be nice to have some dripstone so that I could could automate my lava. So I am going to try to find a way to hop over there. It looks like there's a nice big drop here, so I need to figure out a way to safely get over there, but I'm gonna go ahead and do that. That was a pretty successful trip. I got a full stack of dripstone blocks, full stack of pointed dripstone. I also grabbed a bunch of glow berries, some big drip leaves, and some small drip leaves. So overall, I would say this was a successful trip for just being a unplanned, quick little visit to a lush cave, where I also found a dripstone cave. So I just got back to my base, and funny story, while I was over there in the bamboo forests off in the distance, I went there with the intention of getting podzol. I ended up coming back with a bunch of rooted dirt, dripstone, pointed dripstone, glowberries, spore blossoms, all the cool stuff that you can get from lush caves and dripstone caves. But I forgot that you need silk touch to get podzol, so I just returned back and I don't have podzol, which was the original thing that I went there for. So not the end of the world. I can at least build my pond without podzol for now, and then someday go back and get some podzol. But I just thought that was kind of funny. The whole reason I went out there was for podzol. I just got back home, don't have podzol, but have all kinds of other great stuff. With my newly acquired dripstone, I'm gonna go ahead and build a quick little lava farm. At some point, I will actually build a designated area for it, but for right now, just to have it functional, I'm just gonna build it kind of down low here. I want to make sure to go kind of low, just to make sure that I don't accidentally catch something else on fire. Then put a couple cauldrons. Now this will start accumulating lava for me. I am about to start building my pond over here, but I've got all these villagers clustered around, and I really don't want them falling down into this pit that I'm about to create, because, you know, underneath this is just kind of hollow, and I don't want a villager getting trapped down here. So before I start, I'm just gonna make sure that all these villagers are trapped in boats so that they don't wander over and fall into my pit. That should keep the villagers out of my way while I build my little pond. And while I was in the middle of filling in my pond with water, a wandering trader showed up, so I couldn't pass up the opportunity to catch the llamas in boats and get some free leads, but then right back to filling in the pond with water again. Alright, we've got ourselves a little pond. Of course not yet decorated, but I dug it out and filled it in. So I made kind of this, I don't know what you'd call this, like a little figure 8 shape maybe, or kidney bean, I don't know. But we got this little pond shape. Soon the water will kill those last remaining grass blocks. And so now I get to go through and kind of add some decorating touches to make this look like a nice scenic little pond. The first step in this process is to kind of create some high points and low points, and the low points are going to be a lot darker than the high points. I want to make a little, not necessarily a ridge, but it'll be a little higher kind of through here, so I'm going to start by adding some dirt just to kind of make this part higher. Then I need to kind of round those edges. So now we've got kind of 2 deeper sections. That's where the darker ones will go. But now I'm going to fill in darker sections around here. It'll be lighter the higher up you go. And then I'll add some decorating touches all around the outer perimeter. So let's get started on that. For the texturing, I used mud, muddy mangrove roots, basalt, cobblestone, mossy cobblestone, coarse dirt, and rooted dirt. And around the perimeter, I also used some sugarcane and bamboo, as well as some other little decorating touches as well. And since I wanted this area to kind of feel like a recreational area, I decided to add a few extra touches that I thought just kind of matched the vibe for what I was looking for in this little pond. Alright, I've finished my lake. For whatever reason, the villagers really like it over here, and they all keep flooding over to my house. Even though they've got their own village over there, they've decided they like it better over here. So I got the lake finished for the most part. Oh, added some sweet berries, and I keep stepping into them. That's my own fault, but I think they make a nice little decorative touch. So I've got some coral, got some kelp, lily pads, drip leaves, things like that. Around the perimeter, I've got a bunch of bamboo and sugar cane, various flowers and leaves. I built a nice little campfire over here, so when it's a Friday night, you want to relax lakeside with your friends, you could just sit down around the campfire and tell stories with your buds. Over here, we got a nice little picnic table in case you want a lakeside picnic, and we got the dock out here leading out to a little boat. Villagers all love hanging out lakeside, so the only thing left that I want to do is build a small little tree on the roof. If we're looking at it from out here, it looks kind of bland right in this area. It just looks empty, looks like it could use something. I want to build a tree up there, not anything massive, but just a cute, cozy little tree. Something that I've been seeing a lot of builders do. I first heard of it from B-dubs, but you can use Tuff instead of, the various wood to make trees, because, if you take a look at a real tree in the real world, very rarely is a tree actually brown. Most trees are more of a shade of gray, and I think that Tuff does do a better job of looking more like a natural tree compared to the wood that's in this game. The only problem is I have not yet ventured deep enough underground to locate any Tuff. So I think it's time now that I venture just a little bit deeper into my cave, and I am going to be looking for some Tuff. And so I ran to the nearby cave where I've been coming for all the supplies I need, like cobblestone, diorite, andesite, coal, iron, all those things, and went just a little bit deeper until I hit deep slate. I found a pretty big cavern, so I ran around, lighting it up to make sure that nothing could sneak up on me, and then I found a nice little Tuff deposit here and got to work mining some Tuff. That's about 2.5 stacks of Tuff, which is more than enough than I'm going to need to build this tree that I plan to make. I'll probably only need like 10 pieces of Tuff total, but I figure while I'm down here, I might as well grab as much Tuff as I can. I also grabbed a little bit of iron, but nothing more. Not quite ready to start actually mining from the deep slate resources. Another benefit of that caving expedition was that I got a bunch of bone meal, so I am able to swim around and bone meal my pond to get a little bit more greenery, which I think just helps to make it look a lot nicer. So if I zoom out now, I just went through and bone mealed all over. Now I got a bunch of plants in here, and I just think it looks real good now. So I've got everything in this chest here that I think I'm going to be using for this build. I don't have a specific plan in mind for this tree. I'm just going to kind of freestyle it and see what comes out. This is currently where you come up when you go up the stairs, but I'll probably change that at some point. For right now, that's just kind of where it ended up being. So I'm going to add this. There is a very real possibility that I might at some point fall to my death while building this. So this is going to be roughly what we start with. Just going to kind of go from here, filling in the leaves and figure that part out as we go. So we're just going to kind of go around experimenting, figuring out what looks good, and probably add a bunch of leaves, then remove a bunch of leaves, and shape it as we go. I also like to sprinkle in the occasional moss. And so the reason I do that is, one, I can put glowberries underneath it, and I don't currently have any string on me to cut that off. What I can do is do that, and that's one of the reasons I like to do moss. Another thing you can do with it is put grass on top, which might look weird now, but once the tree is built out a little bit more, it'll look good. You can also put dead bushes on top of the moss so that it kind of looks like branches sticking out. So I'm just going to go through and plug this in. Maybe one will go right there, and I'm going to replace this one with moss. There's that. We're just gonna put this right there. This here, and then I need to go out this direction here, and we are going to sprinkle in a dead bush, grass up here, and bone meal it to make it tall. Yeah, we'll make that tall grass. Moss block right here. Grass and bone meal it. I'm gonna add a glowberry up in there. Bone meal it. Alright, I think this is what I was looking for in just a small little rooftop tree. It's nothing too fancy or elaborate, but we've got just a small little Tuff base. I've got some sprinkled in dead bushes, some grass. This is not necessarily meant to be viewed up close, so I want to go down to ground level and see how it looks at ground level, because that's what I'm really concerned about. Yep, it looks like a big overgrown bush. That's about what I was going for. Let's take a look from the back side of the house. Alright, so looking at it from the back here, kind of looks like just a big overgrown bush, which kind of that's what it is. I didn't make the trunk very tall, so I'm happy with this. This is achieving what I wanted it to achieve. In the future, I might build some more large-scale, more elaborate trees, but for just a little rooftop tree, I'm pretty happy with that. And now all that's left is to add some decorative little touches. So, one thing I'm gonna do, let's put that there, we'll put that right there, and I'm sure you're thinking, what are you doing? Well, let me show you. We'll get that. And this little sweet berry bush right here is going to grow into a big sweet berry bush, and it's going to have berries all over it, and we're going to have a little wheelbarrow full of berries. I know I said I wasn't going to kill passive mobs, but these guys really testing me right now. I need a way to keep the villagers away from here, so this is what I'm gonna do. These villagers have been driving me absolutely insane. They desperately want to get to these barrels. They kept wrecking my little display here that I worked so hard on, and they keep bumping into this wheelbarrow. So finally, I just surrounded it all in sweet berries and then put some green moss carpet over it to kind of disguise it, and then added some extra moss carpeting just to kind of blend it. I think I'm gonna try also deleting these and then reinstall them just to see if that maybe hopefully makes them stop being quite as interested. I don't know if that'll work or not. And then I'm gonna destroy this and put it back. Just taking all their jobs away, making them not want to pathfind, hopefully. So hopefully everyone just lost their jobs and will now stop caring so much about these. The next thing that I would like to do is kind of landscape around here. The only problem is I don't have any bone meal, and bone meal is pretty important for landscaping, so that's probably gonna take some time, but I am going to do a few little touches just to kind of make the place look nicer. For now, I'm just going to do typical dirt pathway. At some point, I'll probably come through and, you know, make it nicer out of like mud or something, but for now, we're just going to make it out of dirt. All right. I've been running around decorating my base, and I noticed a bunch of sheep over here and was like, where did those sheep come from? And realized that somehow this section of fence has disappeared. I have no idea what could have caused that. Do Endermen come and just take pieces of fences away? I have no idea, but I don't want to lose my sniffers, so I'm going to run over here and grab some leads. I don't know where you thought you were trying to get away to. You get in here. I don't care as much about the sheep escaping. Where's my other sniffer? Sniffer, where'd you go? I have spent a significant amount of time looking for this second sniffer. I have no idea what happened. It's just gone. There was a hole in the fence. This sniffer's health is very low. Do mobs target sniffers? Would like zombies have come here and like broken down the fence? I don't think it was a creeper because there's no crater in the ground. I also read that sniffers can despawn apparently. Maybe it despawned? I have no idea, but this is ridiculous. I had 2 sniffers. Now I've only got 1 and he's only got 2 hearts. I am so confused and not happy that this happened. So I guess I don't know what I'm gonna do, but I'm very, very sad about this. I didn't even breed them because I figured it's too early in the game to start breeding things, so I didn't breed them. If anyone has any thoughts on what could have happened here, why these 2 fences are gone, why he's low on health, why the other one's disappeared, this is just bizarre and I don't understand it. And I hope someone can shed some light into what happened. happened to my Sniffer, because I'm very sad about this. Even though I lost my second Sniffer, I still managed to find my horse. The very first horse that I tamed, he had wandered way off into the mountains over here, but I was able to get him and bring him home at least. I don't know what happened to my second Sniffer. Maybe someday it'll pop up. But anyway, I've been running around kind of decorating, landscaping, just tossing little buttons to kind of look like pebbles and slabs to kind of look like stones, throwing down grass and flowers, azalea leaves and flowering azalea leaves, cherry leaves. Oop. Walking through sweet berry bushes. This wasn't really meant to be anything other than just decorative, but I figured this could be a spot where I kind of hitch my horse. And I just did a bunch of plants and tried to just make it look kind of cozy. Let's go ahead and take a zoomed out view and see what this place looks like. So this is the base kind of from a distance. If we come up high, looking down, you can see I've got all these plants and flowers all around. I'm pretty happy with how the landscaping turned out. If we look at it from a front view, I wanted to add little touches of stuff that looks kind of like technology, but for the most part, I wanted plants to be the focal point. So I've got lots of leaves, and then little pots are all around. We got this little balcony over here. This area right here is just kind of meant to be like a garden storage area. This is where you would store all your garden supplies. A little wheelbarrow here with the sweet berry bushes in it. This side, more of the same, coming to the back wall. Once I have bone meal, I want to bone meal all this, get some grass and flowers, but for right now, it's just a rooftop farm. This is where I'll come for potatoes from time to time. Eventually, I won't actually use this. It'll just be for decoration, but for right now, I'm actually using it for the potatoes. This is meant to be kind of like an air conditioner unit. I got my little bee room back here where the bees hang out, and they've got their flowers and just pop in and out of their beehives. And then if we come over to this side, this is where we've got our lake. Up here, we've got a nice little window where I could overlook the lake. Down here's the patio where we can step out to hang out by the lake. Up here, our little tree that I built, and then we're back around to the front again. So that's kind of the outside view. In terms of the inside, I have not done any decorating yet, and all the stairs that are here I just put up just for ease of access. At some point, I'll actually go through and make this intentional. I'll put up walls, make different rooms, put stairs in spots where I actually want them rather than just where it's convenient. But for right now, the interior is not done. The last few things that I still want to do, get some bone meal and bone meal all around here because it looks kind of barren, especially out in this area. No grass, no flowers, nothing. So I want to get some bone meal and do that. And also I need to get some string to limit the growth of this bamboo. On some of them I've already got it, so you can see like this guy right here, these two have it. Some of them I got some string, but I ran out of string and just haven't had a chance to go fight spiders. But for all the bamboo and the sugarcane, I would like to make sure that I've got string kind of stopping them from growing at a certain point of my choosing so that they don't just grow out of control. But I think that'll be for another time. I've been putting a lot of time into this. We are now on day 163, so been playing for quite a while. Day 163, and I'm just now at a point where my exterior of my starter base is finished. Haven't even done an interior yet, so definitely a slow start to things, but I think maybe either next episode or maybe between episodes I'll run down into the caves and fight some spiders, fight some skeletons, get a bunch of bone meal, get a bunch of string. That way I could top these off, I could bone meal all over, get some plants down. I want to do more landscaping as well, and let me just tell you, removing this giant mound that was here with unenchanted iron and stone tools was a pain. That took so long, but it's pretty early in the game and I'm trying to take it at a slow pace, so I'm not going to get diamond tools yet. I still haven't decided when I'm going to go for diamond tools and when I'm going to enchant them. Those are decisions I'll make in time, so as of right now I don't even know. And these villagers are thriving. There are so many villagers. We've got these two guys right here locking eyes, those two buds over there, this guy, and this is just by my base. Over here, this entire village has been thriving as well. Pretty cool. We've got lots of villagers. I lit up the area, protected them from zombies, and they know that they're safe, so they've just been multiplying and multiplying. So I still, I don't know what's to come in episode 2, but I'm really happy with how this base turned out. I'm excited to continue working on it. It's not done yet, but I think this is good for the start, considering what resources I currently have available available to me so early in the game. Once I start exploring the nether, once I go to the end, once I get better tools and start going deeper underground, I'll start getting access to more blocks that I can use. There's still lots of work I would like to do on this base, but for right now, I'm happy with what it is for episode 1. I'll work on the interior at some point soon, and then I'll figure out what comes next on this adventure. But with that, I think it's time to wrap things up, and I would just like to say thank you to everyone who watched up until this point. I'm really excited to continue building in this world and creating new content and learning more about the process of content creation. As I mentioned at the beginning, I've never done this before. This is a brand new journey for me, and I'm excited to learn. I feel like I did kind of jam a lot of content into this first episode, and it felt a little bit rushed in my opinion, just because I wanted to fit all of the exploration, the resource gathering, and the building all into the first episode. But I didn't want to put out a first episode that didn't include a build, so I just had a lot of content to squeeze into one single episode. And hopefully future episodes I can be a little more relaxed and not try to squeeze as much content in and take things a little more relaxed pace. But either way, I'm excited for what's going to come next in this world and appreciate everyone who's watched and hope that you'll join me in the next episode. Thanks again, everyone.